If anxiety is all about protection, then doesn't that automatically imply there's a threat? This was a question I was asked by a viewer of the channel recently, and on the surface, that sounds logical. And if we stop being anxious, doesn't that then leave us open to danger? But this type of thinking is actually based on a misunderstanding that keeps a lot of people stuck in anxiety. So in this video, I want to explain what anxiety is really for and why it doesn't automatically mean danger. Welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time here, I'm Tim Box, mind coach and anxiety therapist. And for more than a decade now, I've been helping my clients understand their anxiety rather than fight it. And that question I mentioned at the start, it's one I hear in different forms all the time. People are told that anxiety exists to protect them, so naturally they assume that if anxiety is present, there must be something to be protected from. In other words, if I feel anxious, there must be a threat. But that's not actually how anxiety works. And misunderstanding this is one of the main reasons anxiety escalates instead of settling. Let me explain. Anxiety often gets lumped in with fear, and fear is about protection. Fear is the emotion that says, get away from this, you're in danger. When fear shows up, your body gears up for fight or flight. So heart rate increases, muscles tense, breathing changes. That makes sense when there's an actual threat. But anxiety is different. Anxiety doesn't say you're in danger. Anxiety says, pay attention, this matters. Anxiety is all about importance, not actual threat. That's its primary job. Because after all, anxiety shows up for positive things too. Think about it. People feel anxious before a first date, before a job interview, before a big presentation, even before telling someone they love them. None of these things are threats. They're important, they matter, but the anxiety we feel isn't flagging up danger, it's pointing out the thing we want to pay attention to right now. Anxiety isn't pushing you away from those things, it's pulling your focus towards them. If anxiety were purely about danger, we'd never feel it around things we want, but we do all the time. So anxiety isn't inherently a warning signal. So think of it more as a spotlight. So if anxiety isn't fear, then why does fear often get involved? Well, fear enters the picture when importance is paired with perceived threat. When the thing anxiety is pointing our attention towards seems to contain some inherent danger to our health or our happiness, then potentially fear is going to come to the party. And very often the thing we end up fearing isn't the situation, it's the anxiety itself. At some point, many people start to think, this physical sensation is dangerous. I shouldn't feel like this. What if this means something's wrong with me? And that's when fear gets layered on top of anxiety. Now your mind isn't just saying this matters, it's saying this matters and it might hurt you. That's when the physical sensations ramp up. That's when panic can appear. That's when the loop begins. But it turns out the problem was never anxiety. It was what we decided anxiety meant. Once anxiety itself gets labeled as a threat, your mind does exactly what it's designed to do. It protects you. It monitors the feeling. It scans for it. It reacts to it. It keeps bringing your attention back to it. Not because anxiety is actually dangerous, but because you've taught your mind that it is. So the anxiety grows, not because it's protecting you from the world, but because it's protecting you from itself. And that's the misunderstanding that keeps people stuck. Now, there's a common objection that I hear from clients at this stage of the process. But before I talk about that, did you know every Monday morning I send out a mind coaching email with some anxiety tips and advice and updates on what I'm doing regarding events and trainings? If you want to sign up to that, it's completely free and there's a link in the description below. A really common objection I hear from clients when we start to lower their anxiety levels is this: but if I wasn't anxious, I wouldn't be as effective at my job. Clients are very often aware that their mind is rejecting the idea of calming anxiety because it serves a function. It's that little inspector in their mind making sure they don't miss anything important. And I completely understand why that feels true. For a lot of people, their high anxiety has been perceived to be the thing that's driven them to prepare more, work harder, double check everything and stay on high alert. So it can feel like anxiety is the engine behind competence and success. But here's the important distinction. Effectiveness doesn't come from anxiety, it comes from engagement. Anxiety isn't what makes you capable, it's just the emotional cost you've been paying to stay focused on what matters. When anxiety drops away to a normal functional level, you don't lose motivation, care, or commitment, you lose the fear that was riding alongside it. Think about it this way. High anxiety doesn't make you better at your job. It just means you're currently doing your job while fighting your own nervous system. You're still showing up, you're still thinking, you're still taking responsibility. You're just doing all of that with your body screaming, "This is dangerous," when it isn't. When people stop fearing anxiety, what usually happens isn't laziness or apathy, it's clarity. They still care, they still want to do a good job, they still feel a healthy level of pressure when something's important. They just don't have to push through fear to function anymore. So losing high anxiety doesn't make you less effective, it simply means you're no longer mistaking stress for competence or fear for dedication. And most people find that when the fear drops away, they actually perform better, not worse. When you truly understand that anxiety is about importance, not danger, something changes. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start recognizing, "Of course this is happening. This matters to me." And when anxiety is no longer treated as a threat, fear no longer needs to sit on top of it. The sensations calm down, the loop loosens, the urgency fades. Not because you did something, but because you understood something. Anxiety isn't trying to save you from harm. It's trying to help you engage with life. It only becomes overwhelming when we misinterpret it as something dangerous that needs fixing. So if you're feeling anxious right now, the question isn't "What's wrong with me?" It's "What does my mind think is important? And why am I afraid of that feeling?" That understanding alone can take a huge amount of weight off your shoulders and allow you to breathe again. If this video resonated with you, then why not check out the members area of the channel, where you get unlimited access to my full Clear Your Head anxiety program, as well as weekly members lives, where you get to ask me directly your anxiety related questions. Just click the link in the description below. Or if you'd like my personal guidance to help you get the other side of anxiety, I work one-to-one with clients every day and offer a free initial consultation to see if we click and if I feel I can be of help. Again, details are in the description. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for weekly videos, one of which you can watch right now by clicking right here. But that's it for now. I'm Tim Box. Always remember, be kind to your mind, and I'll see you next time.